Model 3 is beating all challengers. Elon lets us in on some updates, and we have one of the weirdest incidents I have ever heard of. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 372 for March 5th, 2018. We start with Inside EVs, where we get to see that despite Model 3 production ramp not being where Tesla would like, or any of us for that matter, Model 3 is still the unquestioned leader in U.S. battery electric vehicle deliveries, even besting all available plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Per Inside EV's crack investigators, there were 2,485 Model 3s delivered in February, more than 400 ahead of its nearest overall competitor. The Prius Prime nestled into second place with 2,050 deliveries, though obviously that's a plug-in hybrid, not an EV. The nearest EV competitor was the Bolt, which delivered only 1,424 in the month. Besides seeing Model 3 beat the pants off all its competitors in the electric-propelled world, the article published an unverified claim regarding Model 3 production for the month as well. Quote, "We should also point out that an anonymous source with close ties to Model 3 production made us aware that the line has been down for as much as a week at a time over the course of the last month or so due to timing issues with the robots." End quote. If this is true, next month's deliveries will likely be at or below this month's total, unless a breakthrough in production was simultaneously made. March will be an interesting month for deliveries indeed. We move over to Twitter to check out a tweet chain that Elon jumped in on to get us a look at new upcoming improvements. User @ToddBorn mentioned Elon saying he loved his Model S, but that the routing needed a fix in the map software. Because of the poor routing, he would have missed theater if his wife hadn't used Google Maps on her phone. Elon responded saying the fixes were, quote, "almost done," end quote. User Simon Hackett added on a complaint that's been a long-running issue, saying, quote, "Can we fix the dodgy media streaming of tune-in stations soon too? Pretty please?" End quote. Elon responded to Simon saying, quote, "Yeah, that should improve soon. Software team has been buried in Model 3 bring-up and tricky bug fixes, but that's mostly done now," end quote. Finally, Simon went for the bonus round and asked another request. Quote, "While you're there, the other thing is a feature request. Option when parked to auto-open the sunroof to the vent position on hot days. Separate but related request, always auto-close sunroof when rain is detected. Just like a good automatic skylight in a house can do today," end quote. Elon agreed to this as well, saying, quote, "Good points, we'll add to feature list," end quote. So, we're getting a couple of fixes and some helpful new features at some point in the future. Lastly today, we end at Teslarati, where we have what only is described accurately by the story itself as bizarre. We all know that Tesla has its haters for various reasons, but this guy took it to a whole new level. A man that was armed with a hatchet attempted to strike a Tesla that was driving by him. It seems that he himself contacted the car, and the hatchet did not. He then tried to flee on foot, but officers arrested him at a nearby intersection. Describing the incident to local news affiliates, Sergeant Andrew Hill said that the man displayed a severe dislike for the car. Well, I guess that's an understatement. Quote, "He took issue with the Tesla and said, quote, 'I hate Teslas,' end quote, and created some motion with his arm while holding a hatchet," end quote. He was booked on suspicion of being under the influence of drugs, which in my mind is the only explanation for such a crazy incident, and his hatchet was confiscated by the police. Make sure you check out the links to the full story is in the show description. While you're at it, please consider supporting the show financially through Patreon at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. As always, thanks to wonderful super patrons John Walthour, Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Mark and Sarah Thomas, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Bruno Quindici, John Rich, Joey Boots, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Adam Raymer Brown, Megawatt Photovoltaic Development, Todd Sullivan, Robert Healy, and Mitch Long supporting the show at the $10 plus level. If you can't support with dollars, be sure to show your love with positive reviews and subscriptions on YouTube, iTunes, and other services across the internet. That's it for tonight. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. I'll see everyone back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.